closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Hello everyone, my name is Anthony and welcome to the Anthony James Show here on Sports Fan Entertainment. 2 divisions left, then we get back to my power rankings. I'm excited about those. But let's talk about the AFC South on here. You know MJ's a Titans fan, so you hear plenty about the Titans and the AFC South for that matter. Time for me to give you my 2 cents on the AFC South. And the AFC South, let's start out by saying this. It's better than it's been in the past, right? We're talking about a division that I don't think is like the worst in the NFL, and it was that for a while, really. Or at least one of the worst. But now we're talking about a division where I think at least 2 of these teams have a franchise quarterback. 2 of them that are still questioning it. We'll see how Deshaun Watson does, and unfortunately it's not looking good for Blake Bortles. But they could be in position to draft a franchise guy. So let's start out with the bottom. We'll start out with the Jaguars, because I think the one thing we can all agree on right now is the Jaguars aren't going to be good this year, right? Unless Blake Bortles ends up starting and does really good and does better than he did his sophomore year, I think we're talking about a bad Jaguars team, which is unfortunate because Blake Bortles, I think, has the tools to be a franchise quarterback, but he's not for whatever reason, whether it's that they started him too early, whether it's the coaching, the mindset, I don't know. He just hasn't developed into the franchise guy. Even though I think the team right now is better than it was when he was first drafted by the Jaguars, they just he hasn't done enough to develop into a franchise quarterback. So unfortunately, I do like Blake Bortles, but I think the Jaguars will be looking elsewhere this offseason. Probably with their top draft pick a franchise quarterback, hopefully for their sake, right? Because they got Leonard Fournette, I like that. The defense is building. AJ Boye, bring him in. Jalen Ramsey, you got a good duo at cornerback. If I'm a Jaguars fan, I'm excited about that. The defense has improved. Calais Campbell's there. Offensively, the Allens, they had a down year, but they're still decent wide receivers. Whoever your rookie quarterback is probably next year, they'll like playing with those 2. Leonard Fournette, I think he could be a really good running back for you guys. So you have a lot of things to be excited about, even if Blake Bortles doesn't work out. That just means at earliest, it'll be a year until you guys are good. And that's me being pretty generous. I do hope Blake Bortles pans out, but let's prepare for the worst, and that's Blake Bortles not panning out. So then we move on. Let's move on to the Texans, because I just did 2 videos talking Jaguars and Texans. This is the 4th video in a row I recorded. But anyway, so the Texans, kind of like the Jaguars, we have to worry about the quarterback, because the Texans gave up a lot for Deshaun Watson. The Texans gave up essentially 2 first-round draft picks and a second-rounder. They gave up the second to get rid of their old quarterback. They gave up next year's first, and they gave up this year's first for Deshaun Watson. I know, that's their pick. But if he doesn't pan out, that's 3 picks you end up losing pretty much because of that. You might, even if you take away the Blake Bortles pick, or Brock Osweiler pick, even if you take that one away, you still are losing 2 first-round draft picks. It's such a high-risk, high-reward for the Texans that I think either we'll be talking about the Texans as one of the worst teams in the NFL for a while, or we'll be talking about the Texans who have a franchise quarterback, and we talk about them as not just AFC South contenders, but Super Bowl contenders. When I looked at the draft this year, to me, Deshaun Watson was a second-round talent, and the Texans ended up trading up to pick 12, giving up a first-rounder next year for him. That worries me a lot. That worries me a lot. I don't know if he'll pan out. I think, I talked about it in my Texans video, but I think he'll end up being a good enough quarterback that you can say he's your starting franchise quarterback, but I don't think he'll be good enough to get him over that hump, to get him to that Super Bowl, to be Super Bowl contenders, which is unfortunate. We'll see how he does. The one thing I can give Deshaun Watson is he has that winning mindset, and that could be enough to have him have a successful NFL career. I don't know how his NFL career will look, but with that mindset, anything's possible. I truly believe that. I mean, look at Johnny Manziel. I think that's the perfect example. He did not have the mindset of football. He had the talent to play football. I think he could have been a franchise quarterback if he put his mind to it. But he didn't, and he's out of the league. Deshaun Watson, I don't think he's that... He's a decent enough quarterback to get drafted high. But that mindset could be what puts him over the hump and makes him a franchise quarterback. I don't know. We'll see. But to me, the season hinges on him. It really does. If Deshaun Watson does good, this team is winning the division, no doubt. Then let's go to the Colts. Colts, you know, you're finally making moves. Got rid of your GM. I like Chris Ballard a lot more than Ryan Greasom. Now might be time to get rid of Chuck Pagano too, though. But beyond that, Andrew Luck might be missing the start of the season. I'm filming this on August 23rd. It's a Wednesday, so who knows if something comes out or if you watch this later and it's like, oh yeah, he missed a lot of time. That's why. Right now, I hear 6 weeks, but there's no promise. If he misses time, you might as well chalk this season up as a loss because it's Andrew Luck or bust. Andrew Luck is what makes this team good. Andrew Luck, see, this is one of those teams where the only reason you can even truly talk about them being a contender for their division is because of their quarterback. It's like the Packers, but a not so good version of the Packers, because the Colts, because of Ryan Greasom, have been built so poorly that while they do have some key pieces here and there, like T.Y. Hilton, T.J. Yeldon, I'm thinking, sorry, T.Y. Hilton, you have Davis as a cornerback, Vontae Davis, you have pieces on your team, but not enough to where without Andrew Luck, you can still be a contender for the South. And that's just the truth. Andrew Luck is what makes this team as good as it is. It's probably what's kept Ryan Greasom his job as long as he did. It's what's kept Chuck Pagano's job as long as it has. But we're also talking about the only team in the AFC South to have gone to, or not the only team, but the most recent team to have gone to the AFC Championship in the AFC South. So, and that really wasn't long ago. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. So we still see some of that team, but not enough. Without Andrew Luck, this team's bad, and that's really what worries me about the Colts. And even though last year I picked them to win the division, I don't know if I will this year, and it's in large part because uncertainty of Andrew Luck's health, which also, let's remember, Ryan Kelly, their star center's out. That's not good. And it all goes back to they haven't protected Andrew Luck. Instead of getting picks to help the offensive line or to improve the defense, they spend their first-round draft pick on a wide receiver, Philip Dorsett. Makes no sense, and he's contributed little to the team when you could have used that pick on the defense. But now you got a good GM. He's made some good moves this offseason. I like what he did. I like his first-round draft pick. You're helping where you have areas of concern, where you need that help. So while I don't think they'll be much of a team this year, I think they'll probably be about as good as they were last year. Who knows? If Andrew Luck plays 16 games, this team has a chance for the AFC South. And finally, the Tennessee Titans. Figured I'd leave them for last, because they're a wild card team to me. And I know people are not going to like me saying this. I don't really like the Titans. Not as in a team as a whole. Not like, I just don't like the Titans franchise. I just don't like the team, how it's set up right now. We talk about how Andrew Luck, if he's not playing, then the Colts really aren't a contender. Well, what about the Titans? And you can't be like, well, Marcus Mariota doesn't get hurt, because he does get hurt. He got hurt at the end of last season. He was hurt a good amount his rookie year. Andrew Luck, he never got hurt his first 3 years. It's not until recent that he's been hurt. So Andrew Luck, to me, is a more durable quarterback. So yeah, the Titans, that's kind of why I'm afraid to pick them to win the division, or even go to the playoffs for that matter. Because it's not like when, it's not if Marcus Mariota will go down, it's more like when. If he can make it through the season, okay, then maybe we'll change it. But 2 seasons, yet to play 16 games, even though he could have. Because he was the starter. He could have played 16 games, but because of injuries, he couldn't. And that worries me about the Titans. That really does. Because you look at that, you look at the team overall, they know what their needs are. They've been addressing their needs by trading out of the #1 overall pick. While they didn't get Jalen Ramsey, they got Jack Conklin, who's done well. They accumulated picks. Corey Davis, because of it. They got a lot out of that #1 overall draft pick, enough to where I think it was worth trading back. Even though a lot of the second-round draft picks from that year, I don't know if they're going to pan out or not. You did accumulate a lot of good wealth, a lot of good players from this. But like I said, kind of like the Colts, it hinges on Marcus Mariota's health. I think the safest option right now is the Texans winning the division. I really believe it. I don't think the Titans are the safest option or the best option, really, because If Marcus Mariota is not healthy, then you really expect this team to win the division? Because I don't. And it really hinges on that. They've built a good team. I'm not the biggest Mike Mularkey fan, even though he had a good year last year. I'm not the biggest Mike Mularkey fan. But considering this team 2 years in a row had the number 1 or number 2 overall draft pick, they've quickly rebounded. And while some people are already saying they'll win the South, some people are already saying they could be contenders in the AFC, I'm not ready for that. And a year from now, that could be a different story, but I'm not even sure in a year from now. Right now, I'm so on the Titans. I think for me, the safest option, and realistically, the option I'll probably go with is the Texans winning this division, and I don't think we'll be seeing 2 teams out of the South. I know a lot of you will disagree with me, so tell me what you think in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give a like and subscribe to Sports Fan Entertainment. But if you enjoyed me, you can also find me in the description. You can look at my Twitter at FENAnthony and be sure to give me a follow there. Yeah, I changed my Twitter. Not Anthony James TV anymore. It's FENAnthony. That's because I've changed my channel name. Same channel, just a different name. It's no longer Anthony James TV. It is Fairview Entertainment Network, so try getting used to that name. Go check it out. If you've been watching me for a while and just haven't, go give a check out. I am doing season previews for all 32 teams, previews and predictions, so I'm sure your team's in there, and it'll be done before the NFL season starts. So if it's not up yet, your team will be up sooner or later. But thank you for watching and listening. Tell me, like I said, tell me what you think in the comment section below. That's it for now. Until next time, Anthony, I'm out, and I'll see you all later.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.